My child, an evil woman close to you was just hospitalized. In broad daylight, she was hit by. My child, my beloved, lean in and do not move. The air around you has shifted because heaven will not let this pass as coincidence. In broad daylight, something violent and sudden struck a woman close to your circle, and the shock of it is meant to wake you. This message comes to steady you, not to inflame you, because what follows must be handled with both courage and wisdom. Feel the tightness in your chest now. That is not fear alone but a heavenly alarm calling your attention to truth. Your body is giving you language, the quick breath, the cold in your palms, so listen with more than your ears. The moment you felt tugged here was preparation, not panic, and you were chosen to steward what is unfolding. Archangel Michael steps forward and his voice cuts the confusion like a sword wrapped in grace. Hold your ground. Do not trade careful action for angry speech. His tone is firm and steady, a command to move with strategy, not spectacle. When Michael speaks, obedience to prudence becomes your strongest armor. This hospitalization is a rupture in the quiet pattern you once knew, whether the blow was an accident, a planned attack, or a hidden consequence of long brewing malice. Heaven is exposing what was done in darkness. Do not assume you have every fact yet. Heaven brings clarity in stages so that justice can be wise and not vengeful. Your first work is preservation of safety and truth. You will feel a pull to shout the name, to cast blame into every open feed, to let fury run wild. Resist that pull with everything inside you. Public shaming scatters evidence and harms the vulnerable more than it helps those seeking justice. Instead, gather proof quietly, messages, times, witnesses, receipts, photos. Treat each item like a key that unlocks lawful protection. There will be small confirmations in the hours ahead, a repeated number, the sudden scent of rain where none falls, a stray bird that lingers. Do not fetishize them, but record them. They stitch a spiritual thread through a legal one. When several confirmations gather, move them into one careful folder and hand them to people who can act with discretion. Heaven often signs the path so that human hands know where to step next. A warning now, voices will come that want to rush you into spectacle, trolls, hot takes, people who profit from scandal. They will promise immediate satisfaction if you splash the story wide. Refuse their offer. Justice that is loud before it is true damages the innocent and fuels chaos. Keep 2 or 3 steady witnesses close, people who pray, who will hold your pulse steady, and who will record facts without turning them into drama. Give each witness one simple duty: observe, document, and escort if needed. A small, loyal circle keeps your story intact and your heart from splintering under pressure. If danger feels immediate, remove yourself and others from sight lines and go to a public place or a trusted neighbor until safety professionals arrive. Call local emergency services without delay if life is at risk, and tell the truth plainly: where you are, what you saw, who is involved. Human authority is one of heaven's instruments. Use it without shame. There will be an attempt, subtle, and then louder, to rewrite the scene as mere misfortune or gossip. When that attempt comes, present facts, not fury. A calm ledger with dates and times unhooks emotion from evidence and gives investigators the rope they need to act. Archangel Michael returns, his voice steady and rare. Protect the vulnerable, not the reputation of the guilty. Let law, not rumor, be the judge. Hear him and let restraint guide you. 2 appearances of Michael have now rooted your movement in mercy and in resolve. Practical steps you must do right away. Charge your phone, copy any digital messages with timestamps, photograph any physical evidence, and write an exact record of what you remember while memory is sharp. If possible, move backups to a secure cloud or email them to a trusted friend. Redundancy protects truth from being erased. Do not confront anyone alone. Confrontation without witnesses invites danger and destroys credibility. If a confrontation is necessary, do it in public, bring witnesses, and inform law enforcement beforehand so your safety and the integrity of evidence are preserved. If children or elders are nearby, move them gently and speak one steady sentence to them. We are safe, and adults will handle this. Protect their hearts from the spectacle. Their emotional safety is sacred and primary. Let their days be small and plain while you steward the larger storm. Expect social pressure to respond instantly and loudly. Instead, craft 3 measured sentences you can read aloud in any moment when asked. I am gathering facts. I have involved the proper authorities. I will not share details that could harm an investigation. Practice these lines until steadiness matches the words. There will be small miracles of provision, a neighbor who remembers a detail, a witness who comes forward unexpectedly, a CCTV clip that surfaces. Receive these as practical signs that protection has joined your caution. Gratitude tempered by counsel keeps your heart soft and your head clear. When legal help is needed, seek it quickly. An advisor who understands local protections can translate your ledger into enforceable steps. Law walked with prayer is an act of stewardship, not of abandoning the spiritual. Use both human wisdom and heavenly counsel together. Do not let the narrative of this moment make you into an instrument of revenge. Vindication is not the same as public spectacle. The highest victory is restoration and safety for the vulnerable. Your restraint now will open doors to lasting repair later. Keep a daily ritual for the next 7 days. 5 minutes of prayerful breathing each morning, a brief gratitude note each night, and 1 recorded entry in your safety ledger. Ritual steadies the spirit when events try to shred it. Heaven honors slow, steady obedience more than theatrical reaction. Practical. Create a safety bag with ID, a small amount of cash, emergency numbers, and a printed copy of your recorded notes. Keep it where you can reach it in under a minute. Preparedness is a practical prayer that answers fear with action. There may be a moment when someone tries to pay you off or smooth the story with gifts and words. Treat such offers as red flags, not as closure. Corruption often comes wrapped as convenience. True resolution comes through clarity and accountable change. Ask for visible signs of repentance and for third-party verification before trusting any fast reconciliation. When a decisive confirmation arrives, a witness statement, a hospital report, a law enforcement action, bring it to your trusted counsel and then decide publicly only with wise voices present. Public statements should follow process so they do not wreck the possibility of real protection or prosecution. Now say quietly, with steady breath, I will move with prudence and with prayer. Let those words settle into your bones and carry you toward the next step. This declaration is not a charm, it is a posture that prepares you to act with both courage and care. You are not alone in this. Angels stand near, and human hands will come when you steward truth. Calmly. Keep your circle tight, your records cleaner, and your voice measured. By doing so you become a steward of justice and a protector of the vulnerable. When the moment asks for action, act with counsel. When it asks for patience, wait with prayer. Heaven will guide the timing and the professional hands will guide the process, and between both you will find a way forward that honors life, not spectacle. Breathe now, steady your hands, and prepare for the next practical step, the one that keeps life safe and truth intact. My child, my beloved, hold still. What unfolds next is heavier than what you have seen before. The room you sit in may look calm, but the atmosphere around you is trembling with unfinished truth. Heaven is peeling back another layer, and what is revealed now will set your spirit on fire with clarity. The whispers you ignored days ago were not just noise, they were alarms sent ahead of time. You felt the sudden shiver on your skin, the restless stirring at night, the uneasy glances of certain people near you. All of it was preparation so that today's exposure would not leave you blind. Archangel Michael steps forward again, and his voice carries like a storm through silence. Do not look at the hospital bed alone, look at the path that led her there. His words cut deep, demanding you trace the story backward. Because every dark plan carries fingerprints that heaven will now highlight for your eyes. The truth is this: the strike that brought her down in daylight was not the beginning, it was the climax of hidden choices. Jealousy sharpened itself like a blade, whispers grew into plots, and deceit painted itself as friendship. But heaven does not stay silent forever. It allows the mask to crack where everyone can see. You will soon notice that people connected to her will begin to reveal themselves through careless words. A slip of the tongue, a repeated phrase, a sudden story that doesn't match. These are not coincidences. Write them down, note the times, and let the pattern expose the rest. The signs will multiply now. A number flashing twice on your clock, a bird pausing where it shouldn't, a scent of rain in a room with no windows. Each small sign is heaven saying, pay attention, the web is unraveling. Do not dismiss the small is what ties the large together. Michael warns, with the gravity of thunder, guard your tongue, for every ear that hears you is not your friend. Speak only to those who can act with wisdom, not those who trade stories like currency. Silence will protect you more than shouting ever could. Practical instruction: make a safe place for your notes, keep duplicates of all evidence, and assign one trusted ally as your shield in conversations. If someone pressures you to talk, redirect them and stay calm. Power lies in restraint, not in oversharing. My beloved, heaven is not only exposing danger, it is proving to you that protection has always been near. The blow in daylight was a wall placed between you and harm. Do not mistake it for chaos, it is mercy disguised as shock. And here is what you must understand: the story is not finished yet. More details will rise, more names will surface, and more masks will crack. Stay ready, for the next sign is closer than you think, and when it comes, you will not mistake it. My child, my beloved, listen carefully. The atmosphere around you is heavy because heaven has decided to reveal what was hidden. That woman, the one who wore a smile in front of you, carried shadows behind her eyes. And now, the hospital walls hold not just her body, but the secrets she could no longer contain. Her fall in daylight was no accident. It was heaven tearing the mask from her face so the truth could no longer hide. You may wonder why it happened so suddenly, but the truth is it had been building quietly like a storm waiting for its strike. Archangel Michael speaks again, his voice sharp and commanding. Do not look at the injury, look at the intention behind her heart. She wanted to harm you in silence, planning to cut your path where no one could see. But heaven allowed the blow to land on her instead. Do you remember the sudden cold breeze that brushed your skin last night? That was not weather, that was heaven's warning. Do you remember waking at an odd hour, restless for no reason? That was your spirit sensing what was already moving in the unseen. And now the truth comes crashing down. She was the one whispering lies into ears close to you. She was the one reshaping stories so doubt would break your trust. She smiled at you in daylight but plotted against you in shadows. Her hospitalization is not the end, it is the doorway. Watch closely now, for those connected to her will begin to move strangely. Their tone will shift, their words will betray them, their eyes will struggle to meet yours. These are signs heaven gives so you will know who stood behind her. My child, don't ignore the small signs. A name mentioned twice in one day, a song that repeats with the same lyric, a number glowing on a receipt. These are not coincidences. These are divine signals aligning to open your eyes. Michael says, guard yourself now more than ever. Not everyone who comes close comes with pure intentions. Speak less. Listen more. And watch how silence forces the guilty to expose themselves. Your safety is not by chance. When she fell, heaven built a wall of protection between you and the trap. That is why you are still here, reading these words. That is why the angels refuse to let you scroll away. But beloved, the story deepens. There is something she carried that has not yet been revealed. A paper, a hidden message, or an unfinished task that still ties her to your life. Heaven says you will stumble upon it when you least expect, and when you do, the puzzle will complete itself. Do not dismiss the ordinary. A drawer you open, a message you overhear, a detail someone repeats absent-mindedly. This is how heaven will guide you to the missing piece. Stay watchful. Stay awake. And remember this, every fall of the enemy becomes a rise of your destiny. What was meant to harm you has already been reversed. What was meant to silence you will now amplify your voice. And what was meant to destroy you will serve as your confirmation. My child, my beloved, remain where you are and let these next lines press into your bones because the next reveal will not be gentle. What you think you already know is only the outer edge. The center still hides in plain sight and the light is about to cut it open. Breathe steady, let your hands be still. The work ahead asks for calm courage, not spectacle. There will be a small object that becomes the hinge of truth, a folded note, a receipt, a stamped envelope, and when you see it, your chest will clench as if your soul recognizes an old debt finally paid. Do not pick it up with trembling fingers, photograph it first, write the time down, and then seal it in an envelope with your initials and the date. That preserved piece will be the key that turns suspicion into something actionable. Archangel Michael leans now with quiet thunder and says, when the missing piece appears, do not hand it to rumor, hand it to counsel. His voice sharpens your judgment so you move like a sentinel and not a spectacle. Obedience to that tone will protect the vulnerable and preserve the path to justice. Expect a name to surface in the most ordinary conversation, spoken by someone who thinks it random but whose slip ties a thread you have been tracing. When that name appears, write it down exactly as spoken. Every syllable matters later when patterns form. Names are not weapons when handled with wisdom. They are clues to lead professionals to the truth. A witness will come who did not know they were a witness until heaven nudged them into memory. They will offer a detail so small you almost miss it, but that detail will reframe everything. Treat this person gently and ask them to repeat the detail aloud while you record it. Then thank them and protect their anonymity until counsel advises otherwise. People who step forward under the whisper of God are often fragile. Guard them as you would guard a new flame. There will be a moment when a digital timestamp lines up with your memory, a photo taken, a message sent, a surveillance clip that pauses for a frame that says more than 100 words. Duplicate that clip immediately in 2 secure places and forward one copy to a trusted ally who will not speak of it publicly. Redundancy keeps truth from being erased by fear or by those who profit from confusion. You may feel rage rise like hot oil in your chest when you see the pattern, but Michael's voice returns with iron gentleness. Temper fire with discretion. Let wisdom shape your retaliation into protection. Turn the heat into ordered action, documented, witnessed, and lawful, because fury without structure feeds chaos, and you are called to steward restoration, not spectacle. There will be a test of loyalty from someone you trusted to be neutral. They may try to smooth the narrative for convenience or profit. When that test arrives, withdraw with quiet clarity and mark what they offered and when. People who change their story reveal more than they intend. Keep your circle small and your duties exact. Observe, record, protect. A familiar place will become an altar of confirmation, a market stall, a bus stop, a bench in a park. And on that bench a token will appear that stitches 2 memories together. When you find it, sit with it for a moment and feel what the angels press into you. This is not accident, this is alignment. Take one clear photo, date it, and move it to your secure file. If anyone offers to handle it for you with hush money, gifts, or quick apologies, recognize that as a red flag wrapped in convenience. Ask for written terms, third-party verification, and time to consult. Counsel. Speed with no accountability is often a veil. True repair shows itself in public patterns of changed behavior, not private payoffs. There will be nights when sleep fails you because the images crowd the dark. In those hours, take 3 slow breaths, whisper a single prayer for clarity, and then list 3 facts you know for sure. Facts steady the mind when stories multiply in the night. Keep this short ritual as your anchor so fear cannot write your next move. A child of the story, someone small and overlooked, will remember something trivial at the wrong time, and that trivial memory will break the case open. Protect that child's heart and make the disclosure through counsel so their innocence is not sacrificed to curiosity. Children are truth-bearers when treated with tenderness. Practical now. Create a single master folder for evidence with dated subfolders and a plain index page that lists everything by date, time, and a one-line note. This index is the translator between chaos and clarity. It will make your case legible to those who can act. Keep a photocopy off-site and one digital copy encrypted. Redundancy is sacred when truth is fragile. There will be a push from voices urging immediate public exposure for catharsis. Resist. Public fury often scatters justice into gossip and leaves the vulnerable exposed to more harm. Instead, prepare a short statement you can release with counsel's approval, factual, measured, and protective of those who need shelter. Archangel Michael speaks again, his tone softening yet unshakable. Move like a keeper of life, not an avenger for spectacle. This is the posture that preserves future peace. When you act from that posture, restoration becomes possible and the enemy's theater dulls. A practical confirmation will arrive within days. A witness statement, a medical note, a neighbor's camera, and when it does, present it quietly to a trusted authority and let process begin. Law partnered with prayer is a doorway to restoration. Both are needed in this season. Move that evidence through the right doors so healing can follow structure. If you must confront, do it once, in public, with witnesses, and with counsel aware and present. Short truth spoken precisely is more powerful than long accusations delivered in anger. Prepare your words, practice them aloud, and keep to 3 sentences of fact only. Let silence after the facts let the work of professionals start. Keep caring for the small ones around you, their meals, their sleep, the songs you hum, because safeguarding their normalcy is the truest act of resistance against chaos. Normal days rebuild weary hearts. Your stewardship will be the quiet miracle that outlives the scandal. Now say, softly and with resolve, I will protect truth. I will move with counsel. I will guard the vulnerable. Repeat it until your breath steadies and let that steadied breath guide your next step. Heaven watches how you steward this hour, and your restraint will become the scaffolding for justice to rise. My child, my beloved, lean in one last time. The final curtain is lifting, and heaven insists you do not miss this moment. What was hidden in shadows has been dragged into the light, and what looked like chaos is now unfolding as divine order. You are not stumbling into this ending, you are being guided step by step into clarity. The evil she carried was not stronger than the protection that has always covered you. Her hospitalization in broad daylight was heaven's way of showing you, no plan formed in secret can outlive the watch of God. What struck her down was not random, it was justice catching up with deceit. Archangel Michael stands tall now, sword lowered yet burning, and his command pierces the air. Do not walk back into what heaven has already broken. Do not open the doors I have shut. His voice is your safeguard so you will not be lured by pity or false reconciliation. This final revelation is simple but decisive. The circle around you will never be the same again. Some faces will fade, some voices will retreat, and those who remain will prove by action, not words, that they belong in your future. This separation is not loss, it is pruning. Practical steps remain. Close your accounts with wisdom, secure your evidence with counsel, and guard your rest as if it were gold. Healing begins not when you obsess over the wound, but when you steward the next day with steady hands. Rest is not weakness, it is preparation for your next assignment. There will be one last sign before peace settles. A dream that feels too vivid to dismiss, a repeated number at the hour you least expect, or a small ordinary object falling into your path like a token from heaven. When it arrives, let it mark the shift, the storm has passed, and the air is clear. Michael leans close now, softer, almost tender. Tell them this is not the end of their story, it is the beginning of a protected destiny. Tell them they are shielded, guarded, and chosen. These words are the seal over everything that has been spoken. So breathe deep, beloved. Release the weight of what tried to harm you. Step into the calm that follows exposure. Let gratitude rise because you saw the truth before it was too late. And walk forward knowing heaven has cleared your path. The final word for you is peace. Peace in your home, peace in your mind, peace in your future. You are not abandoned. You are delivered. And your destiny remains untouched. High voltage.